So I was a little befuddled here why people were having problems with number 2. Okay, so let's deal with 2. I didn't lock her out. Andrew locked her out. Did he leave right away then? Oh, there he is. I'm like, where did he go? I'm like, he came in. Yeah, that wasn't me. Anyways, okay. So, first fraction. What needs to move? This needs to go down, right? Rube, you paying attention? Okay, because it sounds like you're carrying on your own conversation back there. Okay, so that becomes 3x over 9x cubed y to the 6th power. Yes? Okay, now I could simplify the 9 and the 3, but I'm going to tap the brakes on that one. Okay? Second fraction. Distribute the squared into all the parts, right? 3 squared is 9. X squared is x squared. Y cubed squared is y to the 6th. Okay? Now, this 9 cancels out that 9. The x squared cancels out 2 of the 3 x's on the bottom. The other x that's on top cancels out that other x. And I'm left with 3 over y to the 12th. No, what was yours? Did you just not do it because it was so long?
Pretty much, yeah.
Let me see. Didn't do it?
I got like that far.
Okay. And then you just quit because there were too many numbers?
Kinda, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like your honesty. Okay? At some point in time, turn those in up here to the turn-in folder. Okay? What's up? All right, so what I would like you to do is I would like you to find me f of negative 2 and f of 3. So how do I find f of negative 2? What is? Plug in negative 2 anywhere that there's an x, right? Okay, so this would be negative 2 cubed minus 5 times negative 2 squared plus 3 times negative 2, then minus 10. So that would be negative 8. Negative 2 squared is 4 times negative 5 would be minus 20. Minus 6. Minus 10. Negative 44. 3 cubed minus 5 times 3 squared plus 3 times 3 minus 10. That's going to be 27 minus 45 plus 9 minus 10. Negative 18, negative 9, negative 19. Now, I'm going to teach you a little quicker way to do it. Synthetic substitution. Okay? Synthetic substitution takes my function, which we just did here. Okay? Same function as before. But now I'm going to use the properties of synthetic division that you learned last year in Algebra 2. Okay? And I'm going to see what happens there if I apply them. Okay? So I first take whatever this number out here is the number that I am finding. So this would have been f of negative 2. So that's my number out there. These numbers in here are my coefficients from my function. Okay? First thing I do then is I drop the first number. Then I multiply. Put it right there. Add them together. Then multiply. Add them together. Then multiply. Add them together. And this number down here tells me that f of negative 2 is negative 44. It's one of the cool little math tricks that we have. Okay. Let me move this up a little bit. So this is saying f of 3 would be set up like that, which we know my answer down at the end should be negative 19. Drop, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So f of 3 is confirmed at negative 19. Okay. You try those. Oops, why didn't it save? Man, that makes me mad. You try those too. Should have been a fourth one. Spot check the first one. So 2 is my number that goes out in front here. We'll do it this way. Okay? And then my coefficients, 1, -6, 5, and 12 go in there. If there were any that were missing, I would fill those in with a 0. Okay, just like in long division. Drop the 1, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. So I get f of 2 here is 6. Do we agree with that? Minus 8 minus 24 is -16, plus 10 is -6, plus 12 is 6. Yep, I would agree with that. Okay. Set it up just a little differently. Still get the same thing. One, 2, -4, -8, -3. Wait, tap the brakes. Oh, I went 2 again. That's why I'm getting the same numbers. Come on, Linsmeyer. Like, this is looking awfully familiar. It's supposed to be -3 there. One, -3, -9, 27, 32, -96, -84. I get -84 there. Yes? Okay. I get 0 there. Yes? Okay. Now, that is kind of important. Okay? And that's important for a couple of reasons. First off, that tells me that 4 is a root, a solution, an answer, what's the other one I'm thinking of? 0. Of f of x. Okay? Which is kind of important, because that's what we're gearing up towards. We're gearing up to finding the solutions to these complex polynomials. Okay? So we just found one right there. Okay? The second thing that tells me is that tells me that 4, 0 is an x-intercept. That function is going to cross the x-axis at the point 4, 0. Yeah. Most importantly, what it tells me is that x minus 4 is a factor of f of x. Okay? That's the most important thing that it tells me, is that it's a factor of f of x. So, because we know that 4 is a 0, and x minus 4 is a factor, okay? We need to remember that. This is the exact same example as the last slide, and we're just remembering that, okay? So, on this bus route, there are 3 different stops, okay? The first stop is the straight up dividing stop. X cubed minus 6x squared plus 5x plus 12 divided by x minus 4. Okay? Straight up divided. Divide those 2 polynomials. Okay? That's the first stop. So, you could, at that first stop, you could use long division. But you could also use synthetic division. Okay? Synthetic division, you learned last year, you take whatever you're dividing by and you set it equal to 0 and solve for it. That number then is the number that goes outside in the box. Okay? The coefficients from in front of that go inside. So 1, -6, 5, and 12. Okay? Just like with synthetic substitution. Run synthetic substitution on it. Drop it. Multiply it. Add it. Multiply it. Add it. Multiply it. Add it. Okay. Now, what happens then is your answer, because this was an x cubed that you were dividing into, we take 1 away from that, and so that would make this then be an x squared. So my answer here would be x squared minus 2x minus 3. Because there is no remainder. If there were a remainder, we would put it on the end there. Okay? Now, that is synthetic subdivision. One way of explaining it. Before we get to stops number 2 and 3, let's see another way of explaining it.
Wow, you guys really love that old school long division of polynomials. What if you had a fancy way? Yeah, like ketchup. Right? I'm talking about maybe motor oil. Synthetic motor oil? No, synthetic division. Yes. Here's our topic. Right. What do we need to do? We need to be dividing by special linear factors in order to use synthetic division. So let's talk about how we're going to get into this game. All right. Special linear factors. Yeah, something like these guys. Okay, this is not a special linear factor. Why? Because my my leading coefficient of my variable is not 1. What makes a special linear factor? A special linear factor has coefficient 1 and degree 1. An example of a special linear factor is x minus 2. Okay, this is x minus c. Okay, what goes outside of our box? The opposite of c, or whatever's going to make our denominator 0. I'm ready for an example. Oh, yeah. Am I divided by a special linear factor? I am. So then, okay, zeros go outside of the box. What makes that denominator 0? Minus 1. Zeros go on the outside. Coefficients go on the inside. Coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. Here we go. I'm going to put a 1. I'm going to put a 3. And I'm going to put a 2. Oh, this is
I know what I'm doing.
division without the actual coefficients, and we need our special linear factor. So then what do I first do? Drop this hot. Minus 1 times 1 gets me a minus 1. Very nice. 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay. Minus 1 times 2 is a minus 2. Oh, and our remainder is 0. What does this mean? This means that x minus 1 is a factor of x squared plus 3x plus 2. You're going to be using something called the factor theorem to determine that. Yes. But that's neither here nor there. Where is it? Yes. We're taking 1 degree out of the numerator. It was a degree of 2. So now I want to write my answer as 1 degree less than 2, which is 1. X plus 2 is going to be the quotient of those two polynomials. And then what? And a flag. Now up here. Okay. Am I dividing by a special linear factor? Yes. So what goes on the outside? Zeros go on the outside. What's a 0? Anything that makes that polynomial 0. What's going to make this polynomial 0? 1. Okay. A difference. Yeah, 1 is on the outside. What goes on the inside? My coefficients. Yes. A 1 goes in there. A 2 goes in there. A minus 3 goes in there. And a 12 goes in there. Okay. So then, I drop it like it's hot, you know, yeah, whatever. That was my song with one of my ex-girlfriends. Yeah, and yeah, I went away, and I'm not gonna finish that story. Anyway, she dropped me like it was hot. Oh, messed up, right? She was a horrible person. No, she wasn't, really. Yes, there's a 1. There's 1 times that 1, put it there. That's a 1. 2 and 1 is 3, tee-hee. 2 times that 1, put it there. That's 3, tee-hee. None. Yes, there's 1 times that 1, put it there. 0. Oh, Adam, and you got 12. Oh no! What does this mean? Let's go through. Rewrite our quotients. Yes, I had degree 3. This is gonna take it down a notch. I wish you'd take it down a notch. Hey, whoa. So instead of degree 3, it's now gonna be degree 2. So then, this is gonna be x squared plus 3x plus, no constants, but I do have a remainder. And how do I write that? I write it remainder over divisor x minus 1. Fun. And then what? And a flag. And when I said I went away, I wasn't talking about like the yeah, no, I had to go do some extra. What makes this denominator 0? 2. Yes. So I put a 2 on the outside. And I put the coefficients on the inside. I put a 1. Then I put 0. Because I need a placeholder for my x to the third term. Yes. So 0x to the third plus 0x squared minus 1x plus 2. Okay. Oh, I need placeholders. On the outside, zeros, and then on this first one, there's a 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Very nice, Adam. 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Sure, Adam. 4. 2 times 4 is 8 grades, Adam. That's a 7. 2 times 7 is 14, Adam. That's a 16. Okay, that's my remainder. I'm dividing by a linear factor. I need to take it down a notch. This is x to the third plus 2x squared plus 4 x plus 7 plus remainder 16 over divisor x minus 2. Look at that one. Oh, yes. Yeah, I do think it's a hammer. Because it's hammer time? No. Because we nailed it.
So that's the first stop on
You guys really love that old school
the road to where we need to get to.
polynomials.
Okay?
What if you
The
have,
second stop
pen-
then
Yeah,
is
let me
going
check.
to be
I'm talking
where
about,
now,
Motorola.
instead of
No.
just straight up dividing,
Here's our topic.
now we're going to
We
say
need to be
that
divided by special linear factors in order to use synthetic division. So let's talk about
x
how we're gonna
minus
do this.
4
All right.
is
Special linear
a
factors.
factor
Something like these guys. Okay. This
of
is not a special linear
f
factor.
of x
Why?
equals
My-
x
my-
cubed
my leading coefficient
minus
of
6x
my
squared
variable is not
plus
1.
5x
What makes a special linear factor?
plus
A special
12
linear factor has
factor
coefficient 1 and degree
completely.
1. An example of a special linear factor is x minus 2. Okay, this is x minus c. Okay,
Okay.
what goes outside of our box?
So,
The
have you ever
opposite
ridden a bus
of C.
before?
Or
A
whatever
city
shall
bus?
make our denominators there.
Okay.
I'm ready for an
Right.
example. Up here.
So if I were to get on the
Yes.
city bus
Am I
and
divided
I
by
want to
special
get to the
linear
mall, is it going to make a stop somewhere along the way?
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I
If it
want to
goes
go to the
outside
mall,
of the
it's
box,
not going
what makes
directly
that
there.
denominator 0?
I got to make that
Minus
first
1.
stop
0
along
is
the
on
way.
outside.
So my first stop
Coefficients go on the
is
inside.
straight up
Coefficients are
dividing.
numbers in front of the
So I
variable.
do the division.
Here we go.
Okay?
I'm gonna put
Well,
1,
now, because it said it was a
and I'm
factor,
gonna put 2.
now f
This
of
is actually long
x
division without the
equaling x
coefficients,
cubed
and we need
minus
special linear factor.
6x squared
So then what do
plus
I first do?
5x plus
Ah,
12.
ah,
After I
ah,
did
ah,
this
ah,
synthetic
ah,
division,
ah,
or
ah,
long
ah,
division if you
ah,
prefer,
3
okay,
minus
after
1
I did that, now I can rewrite that as
times 2
x
minus
minus 4
and our remainder
times
is
x
0.
squared
What does this mean?
minus
This means that
2x
1 is a
minus
factor
3.
of x squared plus 3x plus 2. You're going to be using something called the factor theorem to determine that. Yes. But that's
And
neither
now
here
I
nor
can
there.
then
This-
say,
yeah.
well,
We're taking 1
x
degree
squared
of the
minus
numerator,
2x
degree
minus
2. So now I
3,
wanna write
that
answer as
factors
1 degree less
to
than
be
2
x
is
minus
1.
3
X
and
plus
x
2
plus
is the
1.
quotient of those
So
two.
f of x in completely factored form is x minus 4 times x minus 3 times x plus 1.
Now I'm up here. Okay. Yes.
And that would be the factored completely
So
step.
what goes on the outside?
I
Zero
still
goes
have
on
to
the
do
outside. What's
stop
zero?
number
What
1
makes that
in order to
polynomial
get to
zero?
stop
What's gonna
number
make this
2.
polynomial 0? 1 is. Okay. And
Stop number 3
color. Yeah, 1 is on the outside. What goes on the inside? My coefficients.
is going to say if
1 goes in there. A 2
4
a minus 3 goes in there.
is a 0
Which goes in there. Okay.
of f of
So
x
then,
equals x
I
cubed
drop it like
minus
it's hot, drop it like
6x
it's
squared
hot,
plus
you know,
5x plus 12.
Dun, dun, dun.
Find
That was my song with one of my ex-girlfriends. Yeah, and yeah, I went away, and I'm not gonna finish that story. Anyway, she dropped me like it was
the other zeros.
messed up, right? She was
Or
a whole
find all the
person.
zeros.
No, she wasn't.
Or something along
yes,
that
here's a
line.
1. This one times that one, put it
Okay.
there. That's a 1.
Again,
One is
if
3.
I want
This
to
one
get
times
to
that
my
one, put it there.
destination,
That's
I'm
3.
riding the bus, I gotta make all the
9. Yes,
stops.
this one times that one, put
So
it there.
my first
0.
stop would be to do the
Adam, you
synthetic
got 12.
division.
Oh no!
My
What
second
does this
stop
mean?
would be
Let's go through
to
it.
factor
Rewrite
it
our quotient.
completely.
Yes, I had degree 3.
Then
This is
I
gonna
can
take
go
it
to
down.
my
I
third
wish you'd
stop.
take it down a notch. Hey, whoa.
So here
since
I
degree
could
3,
say
it's now gonna
f
be
of
degree
x
2.
equals
So then,
x
this is gonna be
cubed
x
minus
squared
6x squared
3x
plus
plus
5x plus
no
12.
constants,
But then I
do
would
have
say
limits.
since
What do I
4
write?
is a 0,
Over divisor x minus 1 fun. And then
so that means then, actually let me put a little right turn on that one. Okay, that means then that x had to equal 4, which means that x minus 4 had to equal 0, which meant then that x minus 4 is a factor.
Coefficients on the inside. I put a 1, then I put a 0.
So then
Because I need a placeholder for my x to the
that tells
third
me that I would have x minus 4 there.
So 0x to the third plus 0x.
And then, because we're doing the same problem, we would just fill in again with all of these.
Okay.
X minus 3 and x plus
On the
1.
outside, zeros, and then on this
But
first
now,
one,
I take all of those and I set them all equal to 0.
2 is 4. Sure, Adam. 4. 2 times 4 is 8 grades, Adam. That's a 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Adam, that's a 16. Okay, that's my remainder. I'm dividing by a linear factor. I need to take it down a notch. This is x to the third plus.
So all of the zeros are 4, 3, and negative 1. It asked me just to find the other zeros, so the other two zeros would be 3
Divisor. X
and negative 1.
Uh-huh. Look at that one. Oh.
If it had said find all of them,
Yeah.
then I would list all 4 of them, or all 3 of them, excuse me.
Because it's hammer time? No. Because we nailed it.
Okay? Depending on how the directions say to give the directions, or how the directions read. Okay? So there's our 3 stops on our bus route. Okay? First stop is just straight up dividing. Second stop is you factor completely. Third stop is you find zeros.
Polynomial, long division. Love it. Okay.
So, given the polynomial f of x and a factor of f of x, factor it completely.
Polynomial is.
So which stop is that? Is that stop 1, 2, or 3?
So you're gonna need a more robust method. Yeah.
Stop 2, right?
Algorithm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I first need to look at x minus 3, and I say to myself, well, that's got to equal 0. So then x has to equal 3.
I'm up here and I'm taking a look at this. It's a trinomial.
That
binomial, similar.
is the number
Second example, but a little different.
that goes on the outside. On the inside go my coefficients. 2, negative 11, 3, and 36.
Yes. And then out the house, you're going to have x minus 5. Okay.
Drop it like it's hot. Multiply.
Yeah.
Add.
What I'm going to ask myself, what do I
Multiply.
to get x squared?
Add.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Multiply.
x. And where am I going to put
Add.
it? I'm going to put it in the x column.
Now,
I'm gonna put it right
because it told me that it was a factor, I better get a remainder there of 0.
Minus.
My last number on the bottom here.
And then I
This
change
number
the
right
sign.
here had better be
I like to
0.
circle it.
If it's
There's
not,
no
you did something wrong.
change.
Maybe you
And
forgot a
add
placeholder.
down.
Maybe
X
you
squared
did
minus
some
x
adding
squared
wrong,
makes no
or some
x
multiplying
squared.
wrong.
The desired
If it is
x
a factor, it's
X-
got to
or
come out
7x.
even.
minus 5x.
So that tells me now then
And then
that
it's gonna be minus.
f of x
Bring on down that 12. Yeah.
is
Okay.
equal
I
to
need to multiply
x minus 3 times what
Minus 2.
trinomial?
Yeah. Okay. So then, that's a constant, so it goes in the constant category.
2x squared
Minus 2. Oh.
minus
And then
5x
times that one and put it
minus
there.
12.
Minus 2x. This one times that one and put it there. Plus 10. Very nice. And then I change the signs.
And now what do you have to do?
Circle it. Lets me know I've changed it. And
Okay.
add
Factor that one.
Ooh, is that 2? The difference of mine 12 and 10?
Is it
So
factorable?
what am I going to do with that? Am I going to put a big fat R?
What does it factor to
No
be?
way, man. I'm going to put remainder over divisor. Okay. Yeah. So then this is going to be plus 2 over x minus 5? Yeah.
Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5, negative 12. Yep. Okay. So that is then this
Anyway, we nailed it.
function
I want to take
factored
a look at my next example.
complete.
Oh boy. This one, at first glance, appears to be just like the other one. And like the other one, we're going to go through our division algorithm to find our quotient.
Okay.
Yeah, but this time...
Questions on that one?
Old school. Something happens. Who's in the house? Yeah. 2x to the third plus 0x squared. Whoa, whoa. Wait. What are you talking about? In our last example, 8x squared. And then I changed the sign. I like to circle it. Lets me know I've changed it. And add down. 2x to the third minus 2x to the third.
My coefficients are 1,
Desired effect.
0,
So then,
negative
this
5,
minus 8.
and positive 3.
X minus 8 x's squared. And I'm going to just bring on down everything. Plus
1,
x
2, 2,
minus 4.
4,
Sure.
negative 1,
Okay.
negative 2,
See that?
and 1.
6. Yes. Uh-huh.
So that
Now
tells
I'm gonna
me
proceed on through my division
x
algorithm.
squared
What do I multiply x
plus
by to get a minus
2x
8x squared?
minus
Then I
1
multiply by minus 8.
plus
Uh-huh.
1
And what do I
over
add to 1 to 2? A 1. So I
x
need to
minus
multiply by
2.
minus 8x? Yeah. And that goes right here.
Is x minus 2
Okay.
a factor
I'm gonna
of
take this
that
one times that one
polynomial?
and put it there. That's a minus 8x
Why
squared. Then I take this
There's
one times
remaining.
that one and put it there. That's a, oh wait, minus 32x? Is that right? Yeah. And then I change the signs. I like to circle it. Lets me know I've changed it. And add down.
Actually,
Minus
let's
8x
do
squared
that
plus 8x squared makes no x squared. Uh-huh. Okay. Oh, wait. 32 and... Wow,
Yeah.
that's gonna be big.
so it says find all the other zeros of the polynomial function given the fact that one of zeros of f is
I
9.
got that minus 4 down.
Okay.
And then I need to add
So we
some
know
stuff.
that
What do I gonna
9
do multiply x
here
squared to get
is a
38?
0, which
Yeah.
then means that x had to equal 9 at some point in
I'm
time,
gonna put that right above
which
the
means x minus 9 has to equal 0. So x minus 9 then
Great.
is
And
the
I take
factor.
This one times that one, put it there. 38x. This one times that one, put it there. Oh, big. What's 38? Okay. 4 times 8. 3 times 8. 4. 32. Okay, 2. Carry a 3.
My coefficients are 2,
4 times 3 is 12. That's
negative 10,
Shoot.
negative 71,
No way.
and negative 9.
38 times 4, sure. 2, carry a 3, 12. Wow.
Drop,
That still doesn't seem right.
multiply,
40 times 4.
add,
Yeah, I guess it is. All right,
multiply,
cool. And that's a positive number.
add,
And then I change the sign.
multiply,
I like to circle it.
add.
Lets me know I've changed it. And the difference is 140.
So f of x
Great. Oh, wait. That's
is
a minus, and that's that's a minus. That's why I circled it.
X minus 9
I changed it. It's
times
not a 48. It's a
2x squared plus
And that's your
8x
remainder. Okay.
plus 1.
So then I write remainder of 150.
Can I factor
divisor
2x squared plus 8x
plus
plus 1?
And then what?
No, it is not factorable. Okay? So, but I need to still find those zeros because that's what it's telling me to do. So, I go right to my next step. Set the factors equal to 0. On this one, we got 9, which is the one that was given to us in the problem. But how do I solve that other one? For the 0.
The division algorithm. Before we can perform it, we need a definition. The division algorithm. Let f of x and g of x
Quadratic equation.
with g
Okay?
of x
Which
are
remember was
and g of x
opposite of b plus or minus the square root
There
of b
exists a
squared minus
polynomial
4ac all
q of
over
x and r of x
2a.
such that f of x is the product of g of x and q of x
So this would
with
become
remainder r of x. Okay.
negative
Now that we got
8
the definition,
plus
I got
minus
this. My function
the
is
square root of
g of x,
8
some
squared
other function,
minus 4 times 2 times 1
upon division plus
all over
remainder of x. Why don't we get an
2
example?
times 2.
Okay, so I got a couple of functions. Yeah, it's not a special linear factor, so we're probably gonna have to go old school on our division.
8 squared
We'll
is
go
64,
old school.
right?
Who's in the house?
4 times 2 times 1 is 8.
Yeah, f of x.
64
is
minus 8 is
I'm looking for f of
56.
divided by g of x. Okay. So then on the inside, I'm gonna have x to the 4th. Yeah. Minus
Square root
2,
of
x to
56
the 3rd plus 30. X is squared
is the
plus
square root of 4
20
times the square
plus
root of 14.
plus 1.
So that's
Okay. Looks like we're gonna have to make our house a little bit
times
bigger.
the square root of 14.
Mhm. And then on the house, I'm gonna put g of x. X squared plus 10. Oh boy. So now I go through this old school division. What am I gonna multiply x squared by to get x to the 4th? Oh wait, I think I'm gonna multiply by x squared. Yes. So then I'm gonna multiply this
Bunny
by
ears?
x squared.
They can all be divided by 2.
Okay. This one times that one, put it there. X to the 4th. This one times that one, put it there. That's in the x squared term, so I'm going to put it right there. Yes, 10x squared.
And there's my
Oh,
other
boy. Then I changed the
2
sign.
zeros.
I like to circle it. Lets me know I've changed it. And I add down. Here I'm going to get no x to the 4th minus 2x to the 3rd. Looks like that's plus
Okay.
20 x's squared. Yeah.
Homework.
I'm just going to bring everything on out.
Homework tonight
plus
is
20
going to be
x
another worksheet.
plus 1.
You already
Fine.
got it.
What am I going to multiply x squared
When
by?
the video
to
is
get
going on, that one will be due on Monday.
It appears it's going to be
And don't forget that tomorrow there is a formative.
Okay. This one times that one, put it there. Yes, minus 2x to the 3rd. This one times that one, put it where? Right there. Oh boy. So that's up minus 20x. Yeah. Then I'm going to change the signs. I like to circle it. Lets me know I've changed it. And add